Alright. You're caring for an elderly person who hasn't been eating as much as usual. When you offer her lunch, she says she isn't hungry. Provide a small snack and allow her to eat in private. Offer her a glass of water instead. Ask if there's a reason she doesn't want to eat. Tell her it's important to eat and she will lose weight. Bring her a large plate or different foods and choose from. Which is true? Providing oral care for patients. Which is true of providing oral care for patients. Patients should always encourage to let them eat. Mouth hygiene should be done no more than twice a day. Dang. I'm gonna run out of time again. Why is this one so hard? Why? Which is true of providing oral care for patients. The patient should be encouraged to do as much oral care by themselves as possible. That is true. Mouth hygiene should be done more than twice a day. That's true. Patients to encourage them, which is true of providing oral care. Patients must floss every time they brush their teeth. All of these is true, but I guess I'm going to go with patients should always be encouraged to let an aide brush and floss for them. No, I'm not going to go with that one. Mouth hygiene should be done more than twice a day. Yes, you should definitely encourage them as much as possible because they really don't like being told what to do. So if you can either encourage them or, you can take it upon yourself to go ahead and, but you can't, force yourself on them to brush their teeth or anything. So the most you can do is encourage them. I'll definitely just try to encourage them. An elderly person you care for shows signs of pain during basic care activities such as bathing. The patient's family prefers not to give them pain medication because they don't want the patient to become addicted. You should definitely not continue without their medication. So we're going to scratch that one off. Okay, that one. It's either, when you get stuck at that, when you're in school and you get stuck at those last two options, it's like one or the other. Like one relates to the other one and you just want so bad to just, choose both, but you gotta only choose one. So, and I'm about to run out of time again. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and meet with the supervising nurse and the patient's family to discuss a plan of care. Okay, so they skip the question. That's what they do. You're doing housekeeping tasks for a client when he asks you to help him take a shower. You're surprised because he typically takes his shower at the end of the shift, but he wants to do it now so he can watch a movie later. You enter your patient's bedroom to take her to her favorite quilting class, but she tells you she doesn't feel like getting out of bed today and asks you to leave her alone. This is the third time in the past week she's wanted to stay in bed. You've committed to the class, though. Perhaps you should go. You know, you've stayed in bed twice this week. A change will be good for you. Staying in bed all day won't make you feel any better. Let's get ready for your class. Are you feeling okay? You usually love to quilt. Yeah. If that's what you want, I'll come back later to check on you. You've stayed in bed twice this week. A change will be good for you. An elderly widower you care for has been extremely sad recently. He says he feels dependent on others' care and misses his wife. Offer to play his favorite board game with him. Tell him there's no point in being sad. Encourage him to date again. Tell him dependency is a natural part of aging. Have him help with tasks he is able to do. You've worked with an elderly man for 2 years. His diet isn't restricted. He usually requests chicken for dinner. However, tonight he requests eggs, bacon, and pancakes for dinner. Most people eat those for breakfast. Would you like to pick another food dinner instead? Oh, that sounds good. Breakfast for dinner it is. Usually have chicken for dinner. How about I make that instead? How about you choose one of those options, bacon and eggs or pancakes? Yum, that sounds delicious. Breakfast. I'll make it for tomorrow morning. I would go ahead and give him breakfast. I'm his aide. Why not? If he requests, at least he's eating. At least he's eating. That's all I got to say. You're caring for a patient who requires a sponge bath. Let the patient choose between water in the bedside basin or a sink in the restroom. Let the patient choose between water in the bedside. Yeah, I said that right. Tell the patient you'll need the help of another aide. Leave the clean towels, warm water next to the patient's table for them to wash themselves. Okay. Take the patient's vitals and ask them to get ready for a bed bath. Determine how much help the patient needs for the bed bath while gathering supplies. You're asked to reposition a patient while avoiding fallers in supine position. Which position will be acceptable? Select all that applies. So I guess it's okay. I would definitely have to look up what the freak supine is. I don't want to take a guess because that's definitely gonna mess me up. So I'm going to look up this word. I am going to look up this word. I gotta hurry up before the time run out. Yeah, let's see. Hurry up. Lying on back or with face upward. Okay, so how can I relate this to the question? You're asked to reposition. Okay, so I guess it's that one. Lying on back. Okay. I got that one right. Okay. How would you change the clothes of a patient with restricted range of motion in legs and arms, but no other limitations? Replace clothing from bottom to top. So this person has a restricted range of motion in the legs and the arms. So you would definitely okay, so remove and replace clothing one article at a time. That's kind of the same as replace the clothing from bottom to top, starting with the socks and ending with the shirt. That's the same as remove and replace clothing one article at a time. So I'm going to press that one. A patient you care for often has a bad attitude and is very demanding. Today she accuses you of stealing and threatening to report you to your agency supervisor. She yells that she wants you out of her home immediately. I've had that done before. To me before. I've had that done. Call your agency supervisor to see whether another aide can be sent to care for the patient. Explain to her that you didn't steal. Scratch. Tell her that she is welcome to call your agency supervisor if she likes. Scratch. Well, that's I would definitely do that one too, while I take it upon myself to address the situation myself. Ignore the patient until her mood changes and continue with your household duties. Leave the house and tell your agency supervisor that the patient is being unreasonable. Okay, so leaving the house, I wouldn't actually leave, but if she feels comfortable with you stepping to the door, closer to the door as if you're about to leave, or maybe stepping outside of the door but not actually leaving the property, because you can definitely be, terminated for that. You can't leave regardless of what they're asking you. So I would call your agency supervisor and tell them the situation, because that's what I did when that happened to me. But it wasn't for stealing. It was for another reason. A home health aide, Tom, is caring for a new patient whom is prone to confusion. Tom and the patient are working on a puzzle together when the patient begins to fall in and out of sleep. When Tom gets a text message, he takes out his phone and starts texting back. The patient wakes up and yells at him for photographing her against her will. That's why you should definitely not have your phone or anything out unless, you're allowed. But in my experience, I usually just don't take out my phone. Like I just sit there with my patient. There was this one patient, I watch a movie with them, engage with them. That's what you're supposed to do. Personally, hold on, let me hurry up and finish this. Ignore the message until the shift is over. Phone call, text, explain, remind her. Okay, because that question was about to, okay, I'll finish. He started being interested in my writing. So it's like he was encouraging me, because I used to read stories to him, everything that I wrote, and he was like very, very inspired and very, like, he really just encouraged me more and more and more. So it's like, the more, like, when you first start off as an aide, it's best that you gain that relationship with your aide first before you take it upon yourself to, do other things that may interfere with your job performance. So that's what I did. Like, I didn't even touch my phone until I was like probably 2 or 3 weeks into there, because we was allowed to have our phone on us, but it's just about the situation. So at the time, I was strictly, I wasn't taking out my phone or nothing until, he showed me that he was comfortable. Like, we were comfortable with each other to where now I can, like, take out my phone and play a game or something. But when it's about personal matters, as in texting other people while you're on a job, no, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't I wouldn't do that at all, because I feel like that's not what you're supposed to do. But if you want to take it out and play a game or something, as long as it's okay with them, you definitely ask them and show them, tell them like what you're doing so that they don't feel uncomfortable. It is their home. So like, okay, so if you work in a nursing home, I feel like this different, because times when my uncle's wife, like, she was definitely disregarding her patient. She was yelling at her patient and this and that because she was frustrated with the phone call. She was frustrated with the personal phone call, and that's the thing. She shouldn't have been on the phone at the time. Mix personal with professional, it can definitely mess up your, it can mess you up. So that was just one application. That was just one application. I still got so many to go. Like, when you applying for certain jobs, you got to do these tests. Okay, so I'm going to look for, I actually got one in mind now, because usually I would just be browsing. But now I kind of want to look for something I actually want to do.